going where, as I mentioned, very few have gone before. Suns and Grizzlies. Monica, Kevin Durant needed 26 points to reach 30,000 for his career and become the 8th player ever to get there, and he had the whole repertoire on display.
Absolutely. I think the release point for KD's shot is still something that I marvel at, but he can score anywhere on the floor. Literally kept getting to that mid-range right around the free throw line. There's nothing that the Grizzlies could do to disrupt that flow.
Let the record show they were down 17 when this was going on, but it's still KD getting it done from all over the place. Corner 3, and he's on his way to the record. We'll go to the second half. Third quarter here, Durant now getting himself to the precipice of history, doing what he does best, drawing the foul.
A Hall of Famer, without question. I mean, Greeny, just the variety of ways that he can score, the ease with which he's able to do it. I've always said he's got one of the coldest handles ever, easy money sniper, because it just comes too easy for him. It's unfair.
And so here it is. The 2 free throws will get him to 30,000. The first one, he's at 29,999. And so for this one is for history. To do it in the same number of games as Kareem Abdul-Jabbar. Goes good, 30,000 points in 1,101 games. Only Michael Jordan and Wilt Chamberlain got there faster. So we salute KD, and then it became a game. 5 minutes to go, Suns down 9. It's more from KD, who would score 34.
Well, this was, like you mentioned, it becomes a ball game, so he's now going into clutch mode, right, when his team needs it the most. But this Grizzlies team, I mean, they've been able to come up with big stops at points when they are healthiest this season, as you see Ja Morant attacking there.
Morant had 26, 7 rebounds, 6 assists, and the Suns' comeback attempt would come up short. The Grizzlies hold it off, and they wind up getting the win. So Memphis, the win, they're great. Phoenix, not so great, but Durant most certainly is. For all the scrutiny that he occasionally receives, look at the list of 30,000-point scorers in NBA history. It's names like LeBron and Kobe and Jordan and Kareem. And at 36 years old, Durant is still averaging 27 a game, so it does not appear he is done moving up on this list.
Always been inspired by the greats, always wanted to reach their level.
Needed 26 to start this game.
Shooting to get his 30,000 right here.
And 30K for Durant.
True honor to be in the same category as those players who helped shape the game and push the game forward.
Kevin Durant, a history-setting night yesterday, the 8th player to reach the 30,000-point plateau, tying Kareem Abdul-Jabbar by doing it in the 3rd fewest games. Only Wilt Chamberlain and Michael Jordan got there faster. Both needed less than 1,000 games to get to that plateau. Hembo and I, the first book that we did, I wrote, there has never been anyone better at just putting the ball in the basket than Kevin Durant has been. Meanwhile, a week ago, we were dreaming of Durant being back in a Golden State Warriors uniform, and since there have been a lot of questions about his future, including this one last night.
If you had your choice in the matter, and it's not under your control, would you rather just play the rest of your career in Phoenix?
Man, I'm gonna focus on Houston tomorrow, man. We ain't gonna go there right now.
Okay. So he's not going to go there, but we are.
Okay,
McNutt
absolutely.
is back with us, and Brian Windhorst, the Win Man, is up with us early here. So, you know, Windy, last week there was all this talk about the possibility of Durant being moved. That didn't happen. He's not on a championship caliber team, and it doesn't look like it's going to be that anytime in the immediate future. So what should we be thinking about Durant's future?
Yeah, he's probably going to get traded this summer. He knows it. The Suns know it. The rest of the league know it. They're going to enjoy him while they have him. It's not really controversial, in all honesty. They're under 500. They've got a $230 million payroll. Then add about over $100 million in tax on that. Hembo was showing me some stats earlier. He's played almost 1,500 minutes this year, and he's +2 on the court in those 1,500 minutes. So you have an extremely expensive team that is not winning, and the player that is their most expensive player who is playing great but not impacting them on a positive level. You do not need a high-level analyst to tell you that they probably need to trade him, which is why they were exploring the trade market for him. And while I would never make an ironclad prediction, I would expect this summer for Durant and the Suns to work together to find a new home. He has 1 year left on his contract, which will give him some control as to where that will be.
He will be 37 when next season begins. His birthday is in September. So I guess I would ask you, McNutt, I mean, at his apex, obviously he's one of the greatest players of all time. What is he right now? Like, he's the missing piece for somebody, right?
Absolutely.
He plugs in somewhere this summer, and maybe that somewhere becomes a championship team?
I think so. And I think, to me, when we have this conversation all the time about leadership, I still think Kevin Durant works at his craft at a high level. He still gets you a basket easily, as you pointed out. And so for me, when I look at the landscape, I think about a team like Houston. I think about a team like Orlando, potentially, in terms of a guy that brings you
good young team
sniperism and the ease with which he's able to score, right? He's going to hold the line defensively. You surround him with young pieces that will both of those teams sort of have defensive identities, just as an example. But I still think one of the best scorers in the league, still very productive. I know the +2 metric, that's really powerful. But overall, when you look at his productivity, he still can score. He's still someone that you can look at as a catalyst in terms of getting an offense going. You can run it through him.
Okay, so we will see again. Big night for him last night as he reaches that milestone. Now I want to go around the league a little bit. One of my favorite games is called Is That McNuts? So let's start with this. Monica, you were there last night as Karl Anthony Towns scored 40 points and the Knicks beat the Pacers. It's been a good year for the Knicks. Had a little lull there, but generally they look awfully good. If someone were to say the Knicks could go on a championship run, is that McNuts?
So it is not McNuts, because when you look at all the numbers, this team's offense is fantastic. They're rolling, they're top 2 in terms of efficiency, all these metrics, scoring in the paint, the whole bit. The wrinkle is, defensively, they've still got to figure it out. They've got to grow. When you look at the way that they've performed against Cleveland and Boston, and they're not shirking away from this either, you can see the differential. But if you told me this offense went crazy and they were able to lock in behind the defensive prowess of an OG Anunoby and a Mikal Bridges, OG Anunoby when he's healthy, of course, and they did it, I wouldn't be shocked.
It's ironic, right? Because Tom Thibodeau is the coach. So they're an offensive juggernaut, but they struggle on the defensive end. That's not what we saw coming. Go ahead, Windman.
Yeah, it was a nice win last night because Brunson only had 8 points, had foul trouble, and they were still able to put up that power. Now, Monica referenced it. They're 0-5 against the Celtics, Cavs, and Thunder this year. Now, that doesn't mean anything in February, and they do get 3 games against the Cavs left. They play at Boston, in Cleveland, and in Memphis, another one of the top teams in the league after the break. We'll have a good idea of where they are. I'm impressed with them. Championship contender with that record against the top teams, can't say that right now.
Okay, fair enough. Let's stay in the East to a team that is not even in the playoff picture right now. The Sixers lost again. Weird game. Joel Embiid in the final moments passing on taking a wide open 3 that would have won the game. Then he turned the ball over. If someone were to say the Sixers, they should just break up this team, would that be McNuts?
It's not McNuts, Greeny, and goodness gracious to have this play going into this conversation today. The problem with this is it realistic at all? Wendy said yesterday that the value for Joel Embiid is just not there, and while his contract is the albatross that has this whole thing kind of hung up, how do you move him and make this most effective? Also, I mean, frankly, are you resetting the process if you do that? It's not McNuts for anyone to arrive here at this conclusion. I just don't know that it's a realistic option for the Sixers at all.
What do you say, Windman?
In all honesty, right now, they probably have 2 of the 5 or 6 most untradeable contracts in the league, with $300 million owed to Embiid and $200 million owed to Paul George. Paul George has gotten a large pass from the writ large folks, because he's been terrible this year. His last 5 games, he scored under 15 points when they really needed him. That's his worst streak in a decade. He's having his worst season since his first couple years in the league. And his issues are just as important and just as disappointing as Embiid's, frankly.
Yeah, but the Eagles winning the Super Bowl has taken a lot of the attention away from how disappointing the Sixers are. They may be the most disappointing team. One more, Monica. We saw the LeBron-Luka era begin the other night. They'll play again tonight. Can these two go on a Laker championship run? Is that McNuts?
So, Greeny, I have enough respect for these two. I do not think it's McNuts. It's not McNuts, but I also think it's unlikely. I still think this roster is challenged on the defensive end, and they are challenged with size. But again, if this team can get out of the play-in, if they draw the right matchup between Luka and LeBron, if you can control the pace, I got enough respect for what those two guys are able to do. I just don't think it's likely.
Windman, I want to play the Shannon Sharpe, Stephen A. thing from yesterday. You were on with them when it happened, but for anyone who hasn't seen it, this conversation came up on First Take yesterday. Shannon Sharpe gave a Laker take that absolutely shocked the Windman. Listen.
If the Lakers get the OKC Thunder in the Western Conference, we are going to the NBA Finals.
You gonna beat the Oklahoma City? Shannon need to be drug tested. Something wrong with you right now.
Windman, your face spoke 1,000 words. What is your Monica?
Okay.
Windman, what are your thoughts here?
The Thunder disrespect is really amazing, and it's not just Shannon. I hear it every day from people in the league. This team is 43-9. Their average margin of victory is 13 points a game. It's one of the largest in the history of the league. They have 35 wins by 10 points or more. They are going to be starting two guys who are super skilled, over 7 feet tall, against the Lakers, who are playing without a proper starting center. I respect that Luka and LeBron can do some special things. I just do not respect the take that you could pick them over the Thunder in a playoff series.
Wendy, so yesterday, this was a funny experience. One of the gentlemen, one of my coach's family friends who was at my wedding, we're texting. The Lakers fan base just can't be irrational. He's a basketball man, and the texts were going back and forth. I'm like, I know you know better because you taught me basketball, but you cannot be rational. The other thing I will add when it comes to OKC, last year, Wendy and Greeny, we did this. The young team, woo, woo, woo. Minnesota Timberwolves proved to be legit. The Indiana Pacers went on a nice run. I think we have to start really dealing in these young teams aren't as young as you think they are mentally, and the rest of these guys are getting old. Some of them have not even been able to be healthy through the duration of a season.
Yeah, and OKC won a playoff series last year, and I'm trying to, they lost a tough series to Dallas, right?
Yep.
So, I mean, they've had that
shot at the end, yeah.
Michael Wilbon, Wendy, always talks about how teams need to go through the heartbreak of losing in the NBA before they can go and win the whole thing. And I don't know if they're going to win the whole thing or not, but they have already begun that path in Oklahoma City. People just aren't paying enough attention, Windman.
43-9.
Mm-hmm.
Pretty simple.
And that
quickly, the Lakers, because the Lakers' ceiling is what? I mean, it's pretty low considering they play without a center.
They're tied in the loss column for third right now.
Sorry, Wendy.
They're tied in the loss column for third. They could get home court in the first round. That would be great. That would set them up to do something special. But I can't sit here and take the Oklahoma City disrespect. I just can't. Somebody's got to speak up for them on the national level.
I'm fair with that. No, he's 100% right, and I thought my line on the ceiling was kind of funny, which is why I completely stepped on Wendy with it there. Final word on the Lakers, Monica, go.
It's going to be exciting to watch them offensively, but and look, I think there's a game for them coming up. They have after the All-Star break, they play the Nuggets, I believe, their third game back from the All-Star break. Let's see what that looks like.
Yeah.